final night of regular season. My name is Wolf. With me is Moonglade. Our top 4 spots will all be determined tonight, as well as 5th place. And 1st and 2nd will be determined as well. So we're going to find out exactly where these teams all stand. Our final standings will be determined after these 2 matches.
And what matches they are. It's going to be a lot different than yesterday, Wolf. These teams, they're all pretty much the best teams we have in this league right now. They are playing for those playoff spots. And we're starting with a fantastic game with Bunny against soO as well.
Yeah, Bunny really shaking things up just last week, with some great Widowmine play, actually, versus SOS. We'll see if he could do something similar versus soO. Now, we're going to talk about standings really in depth, but for these 2 teams, of course, if CJ wins, they have to win with at least a +2 point differential, meaning they have to win with a 3-0 or a 3-1 in order to take first place. Any win condition for SKT or a win in an ace match or a loss in the ace match will still result in them winning in first place. So even if it goes to an ace match, CJ with a win will not advance to first place. They need to prevent an ace match, win either 3-0 or 3-1.
And that's going to be a pretty hard feat when you look at those lineups as well. I mean, starting off, I guess, kind of weak with Bunny. Maybe he's going to have something against soO. It's going to be hard to say, but beyond that, it's going to come down to Hero and Bial lifting once again, and Byung to try and stop it getting to that ace match, I feel.
Now, both of these teams are top 2 confirmed, though. So they're either going to start in the finals or the semis of our postseason. So neither of these teams are worried about getting knocked out of top 4, and they know that they're not going to fall down to 3rd place either. They're confirmed 100% to be top 2. We're just going to find out which one is first place.
Yeah,
it's really important because there's so many more points on the line. You get to skip those earlier playoff matches.
Yeah, but I guess it really comes down to not too much pressure compared to what it would be for, especially for every other team involved in this sort of situation.
Yeah,
with SPL, KT, and the other one, whose name is forgetting me. CJ.
KT, SPL, and Samsung. So
keep forgetting that name.
So if Samsung wins, SPL will get through with any sort of points. We'll talk about this a little bit more as we get into our 2nd match. The only way that SPL does not advance is if KT wins specifically with a 3-1 score. It's the only scenario in which SPL does not advance.
It's kind of weird that it's like that as well, right? You think like a 3-0 would be pretty great, or a 3-2 maybe, but 3-1 is the only bad one they can't really get to.
And part of this, part of the situation here, if you look at it, for KT is that penalty point does hurt them, but for CJ as well, that one penalty point they have, without it, with any sort of win today, they would be able to take first place.
Yeah, how about that?
So just got to keep all these things in mind. And this is really similar to our situation we had just last round, where SPL only wouldn't make it if they got 3-0'd, and they got 3-0'd. So it could happen.
I think it can very well happen, especially after what happened yesterday. They really made a huge blunder of that match against Prime. They should not have gone to an ace match against such a team, but they did, and it ruined everything for them, and it could very well knock them out unless that 3-1 doesn't occur.
Exactly. We saw at the top of the list, Hero as well as Zest, both up there at 20 wins. They could tie it if they both win. If one wins, the other loses, though. We're going to have our top player decided today.
That's right. So everything's kind of just getting determined. It's kind of like the perfect situation at the end of all things. And here we have a look at the matches as well. Bunny vs. soO to start it off. Then Hero vs. Dark, Bial vs. Impact, and Byung vs. Classic. Yeah. Pretty one-sided matches when you look at them on paper, but kind of anything can happen.
The ace match, you could think of it as an expedition, or at a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Exhibition match. Because it's if it goes to it, then SK Telecom has already won, and CJ will not be advancing to first place. So disregard Cactus Valley. An interesting choice to bring Bunny out for Iron Fortress, but he did play very well last week, so I do kind of sympathize with it. I do think it's an okay choice.
Sure, it's going to be interesting against someone like soO. Is Bunny going to be playing for that mech style? The soO, once again, has shown weakness to it recently in GSL, losing to Gumiho. So
Gumiho playing so well in that match as well.
Yeah, he's a great player. I don't know if Bunny can actually replicate that, but that might be his best shot.
So here are our viewpoints. If CJ wins 3-0 or in 3-1, they get first place in round 4. So those are the 2 win conditions they need in order to take first place away from SKT. And SKT has already secured a spot in the grand finals. And I don't mean round 4's grand finals. I mean the grand finals. So there you have it.
There you go. They've made it. They were so dominant that they made it straight to the grand finals from here.
Yeah, so repeating their grand finals from last season. They didn't win, though. They lost to KT in that actual finals match. They're looking for a win, a championship this time. They've really stepped it up this season. These two teams really in this whole season, the 2015 season, I feel like T1 and CJ, top two teams. I feel like they've really put it through. Jin Air has definitely had their moments. They were consistently in every round finals, but didn't win any of them. And CJ, just overall, I feel like really bringing it in this season. And at the end of all things, where it matters most, they're, right on the edge. They're almost on top. With a win here, they will be on top of round 4.
Really off the backs of Biel and Hero as well. And there I am, still right at the bottom. 58%, man.
That's all right. You're just below me.
Looking on up at the rest of you guys. Here we go. Big game for Bunny.
He's got a pretty great record for how few times he's been fielded. 12 times in total. Only twice this season he's 2-0, but this is his first time playing a TVZ.
Yeah, so we'll see what he can do. He's been showing a lot of cheesy games in the past. On such a big map like Iron Fortress, though, it's going to be hard-pressed to do that. Maybe we will see mech, maybe we'll see that bio style, but it's becoming a lot less popular these days.
He also has a winning record over soO with a 3-2 score, including unofficial matches. But soO, 15-4 this season. 3-2 versus Terran, definitely his worst matchup. Obviously, you could tell.
Yeah, that's
he's almost 50-50 in it, yeah.
And yeah, certainly is used for his ZVZ more than anything else, but today he's going to have to mix it up against Terran, and he can do. He's a fantastic player in general. He can mix it up against any race, and he should be confident going into this one.
He might have been expecting to see Biel on this map.
Possibly.
Didn't happen. Yeah. All right, guys, this is it. Our final day of the 2015 Pro League regular season. CJ versus SKT, Bunny versus soO. Let's go into game number 1. Down to the bottom right in yellow, it's Bunny.
Wow. Down here in the bottom left, it's soO. Our boy. My boy.
The Angry Zerg, as they call him.
They use the same Bunny.
Yep.
But Bunny's not on SKT1.
No, he's not. That's a bit strange. Must be some sort of cultural cacao emoticon that I don't know.
I haven't seen it before, Wolf, but I'm surprised you haven't either.
I have seen it. In fact, I was browsing the new emoticons this morning, and I saw it in there. So it must be one that got released either today or yesterday.
Well, you gotta get on top of your cacao game, man. Because
I didn't buy them though. I didn't really want. It's not my thing.
It's not your thing, Wolf?
Nah.
Come on, dude. I've seen you with a lot of cacao icons.
Yeah, I've got a lot of crazy ones, but that one is just, I don't know. I just don't know the character. It reminds me too much of the GG girls. Decided not to get it.
Well, let's have a look at where this game's starting off at least. Bunny not going to go for a cheese, which is different to him in his usual TVZs. He usually wants to get put on a map where he can proxy that Reaper. This time, no such thing is going to be happening there.
He also is going for, like, a totally safe build, like a Pressure Reaper opening, which is a bit strange because most players will go for that CC first on the low ground on this map versus Zerg.
Yeah, you really are limited to the options. It's either going to be you do a safe build, and you try and play a game from there, or you're going to go for a greedy start. I do appreciate that Bunny will go for that Reaper. He's going to be on his toes against someone like soO. soO, no doubt, going to be so confident in this match.
Yeah. There goes the pool before gas. So safety first here again. And there's the Reaper on the way as well. We'll most likely see the reactor follow up into CC. Unless Bunny wants to show us something crazy and go one-base factory play.
That would be crazy. That would be absolutely insane.
I wouldn't put it past Bunny to do that. I just don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, we could certainly see a hellbad timing from Bunny. I wouldn't put that past him. I think he will be aggressive at some point. He doesn't want to take a late game against soO unless he's going for that mech style, I feel. Though it isn't the worst position to go for bio, I guess, at the same time. A parade push from here would do pretty good work.
Yeah, it's not the worst positions for it at all. There's the reactor in the CC. Along comes the Reaper, spotted by the Overlord. 2 Queens already on the way, and 4 Zerglings as well. As long as he's on top of his initial drone micro, should sustain no damage here. Of course, Bunny wants to find out if he's taking gas or not, and we'll see that he has, in fact, taken that gas.
Yeah, such an important thing to note. If it's going to be a gasless Zerg, then you can completely change your playstyle up, either be a lot more greedy or go for a lot more aggression behind it. You know, multiple Reapers does a lot against this kind of build order, but gas on the way should be fine.
Queen popping out just in time to save the rest of those Zerglings, only killing 1 of those 4, so very little damage done. Ooh, missed that factory, but can reasonably assume it's there. It's a bit strange that he turned that around that quick. Maybe microing on the main map or something, but we're going to see a second factory.
Okay. We might even just see
Blue Flame?
Blue Flame from 2 factories.
This is getting really popular right now. We saw not this fast, but both Mech Terran players yesterday did Blue Flame Hellions very early.
Yeah. Well, this is almost all in, because he's going to have to do some real damage here to even have a chance of following it up with something, or he has to win the game with it. Such a big investment. It's going to be up to soO to commit a little bit more with his Overlords.
Look at this, a second reactor. I think it might just be double reactor Hellion. That's crazy. We like almost never see this, unless he's just going to make a tech up on that factory and just make Marine Blue Flame Hellion.
That would be very crazy. Well, let's have a look.
Okay, so far 3 Hellions being made.
Oh, it's not even gonna.
So it is going to be double reactor Hellion, I think. That's crazy.
Well, that's completely different. That's such a build order. And this is why Bunny came out. He's got a snipe build for soO.
Like, literally the only time I think I've ever... Oh, he's even going Hellbats with it.
Well, look at this. A Roach Warren on the way for soO. So he's got an answer for it, whether he knows it or not.
They're going to get high ground vision here, try to push those Lings back, but
that
Queens are ready.
So important that he did that as well. But look where this Roach Warren is. I don't know if we've got a shot of it on the Observer, but it is that far right in that natural. There we go there.
Right there.
That's important to note.
And if he doesn't make enough Roaches, though, he could still be overwhelmed by the AoE damage of the Hellbats. There's going to be no Marines with this whatsoever. He's not producing them at all.
Yeah, well, I think soO's just gone for this simple hard counter, which is going to be very fast roach speed with Nidus as well.
Oh my goodness!
It's like he couldn't ask for a better style against what we're seeing from Bunny right now.
Yeah,
it's so lucky. It's almost like he was expecting him to go mech, and he's like, you know what, I'm just going to kill him like this. But here's a window of opportunity for Bunny. Not many roaches out just yet.
Yeah, only 7 on the way. And this amount of Hellbats, especially with that AoE damage, it's just going to be able to deal with this. He's going to have some repairs. He needs to buy time for the rest of the roaches to get out if he can.
Man.
Let's see. Here we go. This is actually such a difficult timing to stop. He's going to have some Marines, or rather, excuse me, some SCVs at the front. Needs to make sure those don't die so he can actually use them for the repair. So many Hellbats here, and a few Marines to help buffer as well.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard to kind of kill soO at this point, though. More and more roaches are coming out. So long as soO kind of micros back and keeps those roaches pumping, he should be able to defend against this without taking much damage.
Yeah, Queen's starting to fall at the ramp, but those roaches that you said coming out are eventually going to push this back, I feel. More and more Hellbats coming in, though, and the repair is solid. He needs to get all the roaches linked up together and maybe split them a little bit more here. It looks like he's got 9 roaches about to pop out. If they all come out together, he should be able to defend this. He's already queued up the Nidus in the main base of Bunny, so that's going to be the follow-up attack.
Well, that's almost GG. He's actually going to scout with an SCV.
It. That's so smart.
So smart, but is it too late? It's too late.
He hasn't done enough damage anyways either. Even if he defends this, like you can't defend this.
That's it, man. This is the biggest beatdown I've ever seen. soO could not have made a better build for this situation.
Wow. Crush Bunny here in game 1. Well, that means this is their last life. CJ cannot win or cannot lose any more games if they want to get first place.
And that's going to be very difficult there. They do have Hero and BL next. Maybe they can make it happen, but this is a big message sent by SKT. They know what's up.
Yep. And that's going to be it. Down to 21 supply. Game 1 will go to soO. Requeuing another Nidus Worm. And Bunny wipes his forehead. He knows this game is over. He's been blind countered. Gonna take a sip of water and then type out those 2 letters, GG.
Beautifully done there from soO. He's smiling. He's like, I couldn't have won that harder. It's like, I literally looked at his match history, and that was the last build order he did, so I made roaches.
Yeah.
That's what he did. Or it's like, I don't know.
Or either that or he just simply got lucky with the build order.
That's like the sickest luck ever, man.
Pretty crazy.
That is insane.
Well,
I couldn't actually think of a better build to do against that. Literally, there's no better build.
Yeah. It's like
2 base roads with a Nidus.
It's just you win by defending the push, and then there's no way you can catch up because then you just win harder by actually killing him with the Nidus.
It's like Bunny actually ladders with that strategy or something, and they're like, we're probably going to expect this on this map, so let's just do this.
Especially at those spawning locations as well. You know, it's a lot stronger at those spawning locations, so it's definitely something you could see. I mean, it's like 2-factory reactor Hellbat build. We've never seen anything like that.
It's super all-in. It's cool if the Zerg isn't expecting it at all.
The only time I can ever think of, like, literally I've seen this match, someone use a double reactor factory build televised was, like, Slayer's Eve when she played for Slayers when she came out against Sniper, man. Like, that's the one time I can think of. Nobody ever does double reactor Hellion. And double reactor Hellbat's obviously stronger, but if this gets scouted for any reason, he can make Spines and then eventually get Roaches out or Banelings. It's definitely a defendable push, but he had the blind counter, and I think you might be right. He might have been just saying, okay, I've seen this guy on the ladder. The barcodes are less hidden than they've ever been. There's even